The Producer Price Index (PPI) measures the average change over time in the prices received by domestic producers for the production of their goods and services. The PPI for Ghana reports the producer price indices with reference to September 2006, the base period. Ghana Statistical Service, the trusted producer of official statistics, in a press released on 19th May 2019, report shows that producer price inflation rate in May 2019 is 6.7%.
The PPI that we're going to release today, we need to bear in mind that we are using the base year of September 2006. So the PPI corresponding inflation rates are presented for all industry, specifically with the subsectors being mining and quarrying subsector, manufacturing subsector, and utility subsector. We need to emphasize that moving forward, we're going to rebase the PPI, where we're going to take into consideration other sectors, notably the services subsector. For the release, for the year-on-year inflation rate in ex-factory prices of goods and services, we recorded 6.7% in May 2019. And for the monthly change rate, we recorded 0.2%. In more detail, on a monthly and yearly basis, for monthly between February 2019 and March 2019, the difference was 1.3%. Corresponding monthly change between March and April 2019 was 0.9%. And the provisional figure that we give for the months April 2019 and May 2019 is 0.2%. On a yearly basis, between March 2018 and March 2019, the PPI inflation was 7.1%, and the same rate was recorded between March 2018 and April 2019, 7.1%. Relative to May 2018 and May 2019, we have a provisional figure of 6.7%, indicating a drop of 0.4%. Moving into the subsector, as I indicated earlier on, currently the PPI focuses on mining and quarrying, manufacturing, and utility subsector. Again, within the mining and quarrying subsector, on a monthly basis, it was 0.2% compared to a yearly change of 15.1%. In terms of manufacturing, it was 0.3% on monthly basis and 6.2% on yearly basis. While the utility subsector shows that on a monthly basis, it's remained about the same, which is indicating 0.0%, and on a yearly basis, it's accounting for 0.1%. This translates into the all industry figures that we shared earlier on of a monthly change of 0.2% and a yearly change of 6.7%. We look at the various subsectors and all industry by starting with the mining and quarrying sector, where we see a 2.8 percentage point increase for May 2019. Relative to that of April, we comparing the 15.1% and the 12.3%. So the 2.8 is showing the change between these two figures. Again, that is 15.1% and 12.3%. For manufacturing, we compare 7.5% April 2019, and for May 2019, we have a figure of 6.2%, which is accounting for 1.3%. Again, as indicated earlier on, the utility subsector recorded the lowest. In that vein, May 2019 of 0.1% compared to 1.0% in April 2019. We look at the trend for producer inflation for May 2018 to May 2019. And as was indicated, we see the values for utility subsector hovering around 0.0%, indicating that for the 1 year period, May 2018 to May 2019, our producer inflation for the utility subsector has remained about the same. That is, it hasn't changed in terms of the index. We see some volatilities occurring in the manufacturing sector from May 2018 up to September 2018, where a dip is recorded. Then consistently, with the exception of March 2019 and April 2019, we see an increase. So with the exception of March 2019 and April 2019 that we saw a slight dip, from September 2018 to May 2019, we see a consistent increase in what is happening in the manufacturing subsector. In terms of the major sectors within the manufacturing sector that has driven the changes, we see changes in textiles, we see changes in beverages, right down to changes in semi-trailers. So these sectors have recorded a producer inflation greater than the national average, which is 6.2%. In terms of inflation trend in the petroleum industry, we see a change over the period that is May 2018 to May 2019, about consistent decrease from May 2018 to January 2019. And between January 2019 and April 2019, we see an increase of 3.8 to 17.2%. But between April 2019 and May 2019, we see a drop from 17.2% to 9.9%. This drop has been mainly attributed to the change in what we call the base drift, because we had a huge change in April 2018, so the change in 2019 was relatively smaller, showing a figure of about 9.9%. Highlights. The year-on-year inflation from the producer perspective for all industry was 6.7% in May 2019. This rate, as I indicated earlier on, is 0.4 percentage points lower than the rate recorded in April 2019. The monthly change in the producer inflation for May 2019 was 0.2%. From a subsector perspective, the mining and quarrying subsector recorded the highest year-on-year producer price inflation rate of 15.1%, followed by the manufacturing subsector of 6.2%. The utility subsector recorded the lowest year-on-year producer inflation of 1.1%. With respect to monthly changes, manufacturing subsector recorded the highest inflation rate of 0.3%, followed by the mining and quarrying subsector showing a figure of 0.2%, and finally the utility subsector. Thank you very much.